Hey you guys, I'm popping on for a quick little update on some of the downloads I've been getting. I've been being a little under the weather, going through these ascension symptoms, having a little bit of draining going on in my third eye. Well, I call it my first eye, but that's another story. Anyway, just want to come on and encourage those of us who've been on this journey for a long time. It seems like some of the newly awakening people in past or otherwise, we're pouring a lot of attention into these people, which is great. I'm glad they're getting some help, and that's what we're here for, to help other people. That's one of the reasons that we're here for. We're here to learn, and we're here to lead by example. Um, let's make sure that we take the time to encourage those of us that have been on this journey for a long time now. To also to make sure that we pour into ourselves and that we take time out to reset when we need to, that we purge things and cleanse when as needed. And at this point, this is daily, just like taking new breath. Every time you breathe, you're taking in something new and pushing out something old. That's why Vegas breathing is so important, like breathing in through your nose and slowly out through your mouth. Also making sure that your minerals are balanced. I know vitamins are good for everybody. The minerals make it so that you can absorb the vitamins. So you need your vitamins and minerals so that you don't get dehydrated, and that you can think clearly and your brain and your cells can function properly. Because if you don't do that, then your body will be out of whack to the point where you spiritually cannot tap in like you like to. And if you're going through a purging, like going through purging or detoxing or whatever, always remember that everything you do in a natural also happens with the spirit, and and vice versa. So if you're led, if you're having an experience such as myself right now, where I know I'm purging, I'm very mindful about what I put into my mouth as it is, but I definitely am being more mindful during the time when I'm going through these ascension symptoms, going through any purging, breaking, changing, because we've already got to a certain state of healing, and that's the first stage of it. I mean, that's a good stage. I won't say the first stage. I'll say that's a great stage to be going through. But once we get through the heal stage of it, then we go through the changing stage, like changing into from one set of thoughts or paradigms, like a fundamental way of thinking, into a new a new setting, like a new type of person. So healing would mean to put things back to the place where they were before the injury, and that's great. But it also needs to be done with the expectation of expansion, um, and also needs to be fed into as such. So it might not feel comfortable when you're going through purging. It might not feel comfortable when you're having to add in things that you normally would look at as something that didn't taste good, didn't feel good, doesn't appease your flesh. It goes past the comfort of flesh. Sometimes it might require fasting. If you have things that needs to go, I mean, it's going to require some act on your part to get rid of it. There's only so much another person can do for you, and the one thing or two things they cannot give you is discipline and diligence. A person can't give you that. They can give you advice, they can offer you tips, tricks, hacks, and all kinds of things, supplements, just pointers, and all kinds of things that we can offer each other. And and lead by example. We can do all of that, but at the end of the day, and at the end of, the cycle, you have to choose if you want to just simply heal and remain in the same place, or if you want to heal and change places. You can choose. You can create the world that you would desire to be in, and you have to feed yourself toward what it is that you want. So you can't sit around and eat, like, the cake and pie of life all the time and expect not to reap the repercussions of always wanting the sweetness of life and never wanting to have anything that's not pleasing to your palate. That's sometimes it's going to happen. So enjoy the good, and enjoy, well, I won't say good, enjoy the fun while it's going on. Enjoy the nice things. Always be grateful for whatever it is that you're experiencing at this point. All of it leads to a good place if you allow it to, and if you speak it into existence, if you operate in according to the alignment of this, whatever it is that you aspire to have, or be, like whatever it is that you want, or whatever it is that you would like to have. Imagine the feeling of it now. During your purging, go ahead and start watching and looking at different things that will help you on your journey moving forward. Also, like I said before, we're not leaving out newcomers, but at the same time, some of these people need to go ahead and digest the information that they've already been given. Too much information without using it is just like eating too much without exercising. You'll get spiritually weighed down, spiritually overweight, and dead weight on somebody, because they'll continue to come to you for refills and not go out and use what it is that they've already gotten and haven't digested that yet. And on top of that, they're responsible for the information that they have gathered from you. So it's very important that if you're, especially people that have platforms, if you're releasing information a lot, to replenish yourself and to make sure that you are taking care of your spiritual health, your cleansing, and all of that. Not to say to look down on people who are on certain levels, because we all have things that we need to get rid of and grow from. That's why I'm purging right now, and it may, and a person's ego can tell them all kinds of lies. So we want to make sure that we're not listening at or taking in information through the lens of an inflated ego or wounded ego. One of the things about when I say healing is good, it's great, but healing heals you in the place that you were already at, in whatever realm you're in, and whatever dimension that you're operating out of, and that's fine, because then you're able body to move, or able spirited to move, your soul has developed enough to get to the point where it's able to properly function and activate. So when I say healing and changing is two different things, they go together, but they're not always the same. Because if you are healing, that's great, but you're gonna need to practice rejuvenation and generating what it is that you, not regenerating so much as it is generating new, growing new, doing new things, eating new things, digesting new material, vibrating at a level that you draw into you what it is that you need. You vibrate at a level where you resonate with certain people, and there's a lot of things that does not exist in this place. So ridding yourself of things so that you can make it to the next place is the key right now. And again, I've been talking about this reset for a really long time, and I've been actually going through my own personal journey with resetting ever since I got to a certain stage of my healing journey, I started doing the changing journey. And that's been going on really since 2018, I would say. Of course, I've been on my spiritual journey way before then, but I would say that some of my major transformations in the past have taken place between 2018 and 2020. Um, After 2020, I went more into the change mode where my life started to change on levels that were clear to me, that I came out of a dark night of the soul type of type of energy, and I went into something totally different. I've done it more than once, actually. And every time we go into these spaces where it feels like all hell is breaking loose and we're having these tower moments, always understand that the ending of one thing is the beginning of something new, and only you can determine what that new thing is by how you think, what you say, and how you prepare yourself for it. What you cannot do is ride in on somebody else's skirt tail. You cannot ride in on somebody else's anointing. You have to have your own. You can follow, but you cannot ride. You can't thumb a ride. You can't try to hitch on to somebody else. You can't siphon somebody else's energy. You can't siphon somebody else's anointing. You're not supposed to be jealous of somebody else's anointing. That will keep you in a lower level. You cannot operate in a higher level, in a higher dimension with certain things running you. Ego being the first thing that needs to settle down, move to the side, and allow you to see your spirit clearly. If you are not able to get past your ego, and to recognize it on your own, life situations will come and humble you to the point where you have no other choice but to do so. And some of that is the reason why we run into a lot of narcissistic, toxic people. Sometimes it's actually used to humble us to the point where we know that, okay, we're good people, and we're light beings, but at the same time, we need to know we need some humility. Like, we really need humility for our own protection, and in the warfare that we have to deal with. Humility is the cloak that protects you a lot of times, and ego will not allow humility to get into the proper place, and so it leaves your gifts exposed to the enemy. And not only it just exposed to the enemy, but not even protected, because you threw out there wasn't what was sacred, and you gave your pearls to a lot of swine, and now you're getting angry at the swine for acting like pigs, when that's what they never presented themselves as anything besides that. If you had your intuition out and your discernment on point and in alignment, sooner or later you'll see what they're coming from and what they're all about. Take your time with people. It's okay to have nice people around that give you compliments and that that encourage you along. But you need to have that for yourself at the end of the day, because you want to make sure that you're not just waiting on somebody else to give you props for what it is that you do. You're not looking for outside validation at all times. Although it's appreciated, it's not needed. It's not something that you have to have all the time on a daily basis, which would make you an energy vampire, which is what we're on here trying to make sure that we're not, when we're helping people to come out of. So again, just coming back, to the front of my conversation, to the front of this message, and saying that be discerning about who it is that you take in to help, because although people might need help, it does not necessarily mean that they want help. If a person is coming around with the same problem and you've already offered some advice, they do not want help. They want you to do it for them. They do not want help. They want attention, and although they need help, you can't force it on them, but it will drain you. So be mindful. about that. And also, if you're releasing information, make sure that you cleanse, make sure that you take in enough water, and make sure your minerals are straight. Make sure you're getting sunlight and doing everything you can to keep this vessel up and running and functioning. Move around as much as you can. And natural antivirals would be, and antioxidants would be clove, star anise, cinnamon, turmeric, moringa, sea moss. There's quite a few. I know a lot of them. So if you want like some personal advice on it, I don't recommend. I'm not a doctor, but I do refer people to certain things. What I normally do during a session is get a list of whatever your pharmaceutical meds are, if you are on any, and I'll research and take time out to see what it is that I see spiritually and naturally that will not interact with your meds that you are already on. In addition to that, maybe foods that will help you to break free from certain things, because you're gonna need every aspect of your life to be combed through a little at a time to make sure that you get over this stuff and make sure that you win, like you're winning at it, that you're aligned and that you're doing everything you possibly can do on your end to make sure that you're functioning correctly. And when you do that, then it gives an open door to the divine to come in and put the super on your natural, which is anointing, to do what it is that you do with ease and not out of your ego and not out of the sweat of your brow type of thing. So just be mindful, stay aware, and also prepare yourself for going forward. I hope everybody is well doing this reset. If you know what I'm talking about. I know I sound like Rudolph right now. Sound like I got somebody holding my nose. But I'm actually doing pretty good. Thanks for everybody that reached out to ask me how I'm doing. I'm fine. I'm doing great. Just not going to be showing my face until I'm feeling a whole lot better, because first of all, I want to keep my eyes where I don't have to have anybody else seeing into them right now. I'm giving y'all the best I got right this minute, and it's not going to include my face on camera. Might even sound a little muffled because, of the congestion that's moving out, and the symptoms that I was having. So y'all be blessed. Until next time. Thank you.